This is Listen Lakeland, the show that keeps you up to date on all the things that make our city a great place to live, work, and play. Today's host built her career in communications and public relations after graduating from Florida Southern College. As the president and CEO of the Lakeland Chamber of Commerce, she's charged with making Lakeland a place where business can prosper through advocacy, professional development, and education. Please welcome your host for today's episode, Amy Wiggins.
Welcome to the good life.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. As our announcer said, my name is Amy Wiggins, and I'm glad to be hosting this month's episode of Listen Lakeland. As you know, we're an extension of Lakeland Vision, and our partnership with the City and Hall Communications is tremendous. So today on Listen Lakeland, I am thrilled to be joined by two really cool people, I think, at least. Hopefully by the end of the show, you'll also agree with me. There's been a lot of talk lately about our amazing airport, and so here today I've got Commissioner Musick from the Lakeland City Commission and our airport director, Kris Hallstrand. Thank you both for being here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for the invite.
Yes. So today I want to talk a little bit about transportation in general. And more specifically for folks who maybe don't follow social media and didn't see the three of us as crazy people on the very first flight out of Lakeland International Airport. I want to talk a little bit about that too. But first, I think probably we should do some introductions because I know you, but I don't know that our listeners do. So, Kris, why don't you give us a 45-second bio on how you got to be our airport director?
Well, my name is Kris Hallstrand, and airport director for Lakeland Linder International Airport. I've been in aviation now for 28 years. I've been airport management for 22 years. So I met this guy named Gene Conrad, and our previous director, and he asked me in Oshkosh if I was interested in coming to work for him. So I said, absolutely. Let's see what we can do. And I was his assistant director for about 6 years, and now I've been airport director for 2 years. And I am very fortunate to lead an awesome team in a very great city.
I agree. And you fly. You're a pilot.
I used to have an airplane and used to fly it around. I haven't in a long time now.
That's okay. You're around enough airplanes, I believe. Very cool. Well, thank you for being here. Commissioner Musick, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Amy. I am a commissioner in District D and have been interested in our airport specifically, as we're talking for just quite some time. But myself, I have a roofing company. I employ a good handful of people here in Lakeland, and we cover all of Central Florida. And I'm married to my lovely wife, Nikki. Just celebrated 25 years. We have 3 grown children. 2 are married. One is not yet, but has graduated college. And that's really was my reason, the impetus for me running is just, growing up here. We moved here from Pennsylvania in 1978, I believe it was. I was a little kid, 6, 7 years old, and grew up here. My wife was born here, but seeing the growth, seeing just an area that I could plug in and help. So I ran, and it was difficult. The hardest thing probably I've done is run for office, but just want to be an asset, be somebody that can plug a hole, dig a ditch, fill in, do what I can do to just help. And
you do much more than that, I can assure you. And I think, so one of the things that's probably been the most interesting, I find this in my role at least, and the Chamber of Commerce, we end up being aware of and knowledgeable about so many different things. And I would imagine that aviation is kind of a new skill set for you.
It is for me, yes. I've been toying forever about getting my license.
Really?
I have got the worst eyes in the world. I've had, as a 40-year-old, I had cataract. I've had laser surgery 3 times. Yeah, so my wife is like, you can fly, but I'll probably not go with you. So
she's so supportive.
But yeah, so we have been fortunate. My children all attended college out of state, so we flew a lot to go see them. We my wife is a nurse and a nursing professor, so we have done a lot of international travel for ministry work and nursing work, and I'm in the construction field. So travel has been a big part of where we spend our free time, our relaxation time. So we just couldn't be more excited. I know you want to talk about roads and other kind of things, but to me, what's going on at the airport is just second to none. And Kris and her team have just been killing it. So let's keep talking about
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I agree. And that is why we're here. I do want to talk a little bit about how the airport fits into the overall transportation plan for our city, our county, our region. I think sometimes we may not recognize that it's part of a larger plan because we hear so much about the airport and we get excited about it. Because it's not sitting in traffic, right? I think the most of us, the tangible experience that we have with transportation is sitting in traffic or being frustrated by a train or that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit about how the airport, that's a big question, sorry.
It is.
How does the airport fit into the transportation overall?
So, here in Lakeland, we're very fortunate. We have a beautiful airport with good bones, meaning that our pavements and everything are all good and links are good. And, we have a Cat 3 ILS, which can bring an airplane in some pretty poor weather. When our role in the community can be, multiple things. Cargo is a big part for us too. We did 838 million pounds of cargo last year into our community, and that supports jobs. It takes trucks off the road. It does put some trucks on the road when they haul it away from our facility, but a lot of those trucks are the smaller ones that are going to deliver right to your door. So having access to the supply chain here in Lakeland really helps us out. So, cargo is a big part of our business now. We're fortunate now with Avelo providing airline service. I say this, and I just want everybody to hear this. I say this everywhere I can go. We're starting out, we're crawling, we're going to walk, and then we're going to run. And what that means is we're starting out slow to get everything established, good for the airport, good for the community, and good for the airline. And then we're going to walk, meaning we're going to add some destinations, we're going to get some more places to go, and we're going to work on that. And then eventually we're going to be running, right? And running is we're going to provide multiple locations for our community to utilize that service. So you think about that, what's our biggest challenge when we live here in Central Florida between Tampa and Orlando? It's the traffic. Right. I dread going over to our friends over at Orlando Airport. They're great people. I have nothing against them, but I don't like I-4.
The getting there, yes.
Yeah. Yesterday I was in Tampa, and, traffic is always there, and this was middle of the day. So, we're always dealing with that. But we're very fortunate in the fact that if you do want to go to Europe or if you want to go, somewhere else that we can't provide,
right there,
you have it, two options on both sides of you. So we're just coming in and serving the community the best we can. It's great for our tourism, and it's great for our community to be able to go out, utilize our local airport, and go see the country. So we're a big part of taking traffic off the road as much as we are anything. People don't really recognize that about airports, but it's a true statement that, if we can take some congestion off of I-4 and give you a better quality of life, that's what it's all about for us, whether it's in cargo needs or whether it's in air service needs.
So from an overall city and overall transportation plan, if we have a super successful cargo operation, the airport is how many acres?
We are 1,742 acres.
That's a lot of land, and that means that you're also home to a diversity of small and large businesses, training facilities, et cetera, et cetera. So you are a great landlord. You're running cargo operations. Why commercial air service? Why add people into that mix? You're already doing general aviation. You're already doing the cargo. How does that, in terms of, I'm maybe putting words in your mouth here, but in terms of like advancement and next level airport operations, is that like a next step, or why was that such a priority for our community?
So I think it was a logical step. That's where we're at now. The airport has been here. It was a World War II training base, and then the city took it over, I want to say in like 49. And it's evolved since then. We've been doing a whole lot of flight instruction. We've got, great tenants on the airport. And then we got NOAA, the hurricane hunters, and, high skill, high wage jobs.
Right.
And now they're integrated into our community. So we're very fortunate to provide that service. And then we did Amazon and cargo. I like to joke with people. At that point, I thought, hey, we're doing pretty good. Boxes never complain if they're late or right. So that's kind of cool. But then, as especially once I took the role as airport director, the community really wanted air service, and our population, here in Central Florida is literally booming, and to provide that service, the other purpose of the airport, I believe, at least for our community, is economic impact. In 2019, we were $547 million economic impact. And in 2020 and 2021, through COVID, we jumped up to $1.5 billion in economic impact. We have about 3,000 people that collect a paycheck off the airport. Now that supports our entire community, even if it's outside of Lakeland. So our economic impact is a big part of why we're here too. So it's all about serving the community in which we serve, right? I'm a City of Lakeland employee. I'm very proud to be a City of Lakeland employee, and my team is as well. So we are definitely here to serve the community and provide them benefit, whether it's recreational, whether it's just goods, whether it's jobs. That's what we're here for.
That's awesome. And it's, secretly, I already knew the answer. Naturally, the Chamber of Commerce was instrumental in making sure that the airport was located where it is located so that it could continue to grow, and really wanted commercial air service, again, because we recognize the incredible economic impact that comes after that. So, Commissioner, tell us a little bit about what was the Commission's thought process in, was it a heavy lift? Was there a lot of responsibility for the Commission in bringing this commercial air service, putting that on the Vision Board?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that has been, so I'm wrapping up my third year, right? So I still feel honestly real new at this in relation to, some of those that have come before. We have such a great director level staff here at the city. So by the time things get to us, right, we'll set up meetings and we'll have questions and ask, somebody will drop a question to us and we'll reach out and ask. But so many of these things are being worked on behind the scenes, right? We talk about strategic planning. Hey, can we implement this? Well, Kris and her team, they're out working, right? And just it's behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden, for us, it seems like overnight, hey, we have this opportunity.
We figured it out.
And we know that countless of hours and travel miles and things have been put in place to do that. But I cannot speak for anybody else on the Commission as far as their anticipation and excitement about it. I know that at one point we were talking and they were like, listen, just like Kris was saying, boxes don't complain, right? What they can come in quicker, they can go up higher, they can do those things to make it where, as passengers, we want a little bit more comfort in that. So when we heard that they were, coming, again, I hopped right online and got a ticket. I literally was unsure where New Haven was. But it didn't matter to me. I wanted to support both as my position commissioner, but just as a business owner and just a resident. Like, listen, let's get behind this, the crawl, walk, run. I had a friend of mine reach out and said, New Haven, what on earth? And I explained that, Kris. I said, listen, here's why. People can go to Orlando and they can go to Tampa. They can go to Pi. They can go to these different places. So for us to get an airline that's willing to look and say, here's what we can do, and we think that it's going to fit. And I think it's fabulous. One of the most exciting things to me, outside of actually being on the first flight, was the people landing.
Yes.
Right, and then talking to them and where they came from, because I completely spaced about that. Right, I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting on and going to New Haven, but that plane had to come from somewhere, right? So it came and they landed, and I was and it was so interesting. And then on the plane ride, talking to the different person. In fact, I was sitting right beside a gentleman who was a blogger, and he was actually blogging the whole time. about the flight and the airport and all of that, the trip and stuff. And so I picked his brain for, most of the flight, and it was incredibly easy. So talking about, was it a hard lift? I'd say no. I think that we're excited about it.
Good.
Is everybody in Lakeland excited about aircraft? Certainly not, right? And I think that we would be remiss if we acknowledge that everybody is, ticker tape parade ready to go forward. But when we look at things, even as simple as our GMAs at the hospital, right? Knowing that they can have an airport that's close, because what we're trying to do with that, is to keep them here.
100%.
What's a reason that we can, be more attractive to them? And what I love about the Lakeland Airport is that we are not trying to be Tampa or Orlando, right? This is our airport. It's only going to be able to ever handle so much traffic anyway.
Correct.
Right. So we're just wanting to be the best that we can be, and it's exciting. I have not had, other than that first question when someone said, why New Haven?
Why New Haven?
I have not had anybody reach out to me other than with excitement. In fact, friends of mine are like, hey, when can we go up again? And it was such a quick flight. It was so easy. Oh,
absolutely. So just for folks who are listening and don't know yet, it's about a 2.5-hour flight. And getting through security at Lakeland is super easy. Getting through security in New Haven is a little bit longer, because there are, I think 3 or 4 flights around the same time as the Lakeland flight back in. So it's just, it's really great. Before we talk too much more about New Haven, because I do want to tell people why New Haven and what an incredible experience it has been. Both trips, I have been twice now. I do want to talk a little bit about some of our partners that helped to make this a reality, because this did not, as incredible as those of us around the table and who are listening recognize that you and your team are. I know that it takes a lot more than just your 30 airport staff to pull this off. So tell us a little bit about working with TSA and DOT and FAA and all of the other acronyms that you get to work with.
There is a lot, right? Whether it's the FAA and making sure that we're compliant with how that program works, and our certification as an airport, we get inspected very thoroughly, and there's some standards that have to be upheld, but FDOT has helped us with some funding to get the terminal ready and in place. And, we've really had a great opportunity to partner with a lot of folks. So, Amy, we've had conversations.
Absolutely.
How can we work together to do something? How can we be partners? My biggest thing is I want to be one team, one fight. I want to be partners. So when I talk about partnerships all the time. With the airline, they are the right partner at the right time. And I truly mean that. I believe that. Or we wouldn't be having this conversation today. If I didn't believe it wasn't going to happen. So that also goes with TSA. If it's mechanical, it will break. And we experienced some, issues with some of the equipment that TSA had. But I will tell you, these men and women from our federal government, they have bad raps out there all the time. You hear people criticizing. This team was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
They made sure everybody was as happy as they could be. They had a job to do. My team, we were trying to talk with folks and make sure that we can keep everybody in a positive mood. But that was teamwork. That was partnership in its truest form. And partnerships are all over. LEDC is great, right? We work with them. We work CFTC. We work with the commission. We work with the community all around us for these partnerships. And also, I will say, I am very fortunate. I don't know, Commissioner Musick, how many employees we truly have. It's over 2,000, I believe, in the city of Lakeland. And we all come together as one big team. Every department helped this airport get off the ground with this service, right? Yes. So I can't help but think that the partnerships are what is making things happen here in Lakeland. Is the community and the leaders in our community are surrounding ourselves with talented people and saying, how can we get this done? So all of these things are partnerships. I could go on all day about partnerships, whether it's even Citrus Connection. If you look out there, there's 2 buses that are wrapped with an airplane. Now, I'm going to say this. Give me some time. I'm going to wrap an airplane, and it's going to be like the Spirit of Lakeland or something. We're going to do something.
Okay.
And the airline knows that I intend on wrapping an airplane, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. I think, by the way, if there are seats on that airplane, you can count on both of us to be on it. I think we're 2 of your bigger cheerleaders in this community. So.
You are, and I would be remiss if I did not point out Visit Central Florida, both counties.
100%.
Those folks have, Mark Zimmerman has been since day one of air service for the last, 12, 13, 14 years. He has been by the airport side at the conferences, talking to the airlines, talking to people, and they are doing a tremendous job helping us market this service, and they are really providing a really good environment for this airline to survive, right? We need the community to support the airline to get more destinations. That's just how this works, right? Because an airline has to make money. They're an ultra low cost carrier. We're providing them with low cost. Our community needs to embrace that to get more destinations.
So tell us a little bit about occupancy. So we've got a few flights under our belt, so to speak. How are we doing in that area?
Unbelievably well. I better than expectation.
Great.
Awesome. I talk with the president, Andrew Levy, and some of his folks all the time, and they are, as Andrew put it, very bullish on Lakeland.
I like
That's a very positive statement from an airline, right? We're probably, I would say, we're pushing high 80s, 90% utilization. I will give an example. This Sunday, I came in on Sunday and worked the flight and just trying to understand every little piece and make sure I'm seeing everything that needs to be seen. And there was 143 passengers coming up here. It's a 147-seat airplane. Think about that.
That's amazing.
4 seats available on that airplane.
Nice.
And those 4 were probably the 4 seats of people who made reservations and then had something come up, and they couldn't make it. So that's pretty remarkable. And I want to say we had 137 or 138 going out.
Wow.
It's still remarkable. Basically, you look at it, if the average is above like 80%, the airline's going to do okay.
Good.
And we've been knocking it out of the park. And that's thanks to the community, right? What people don't really understand about airlines in this case is New Haven. Everybody says, why New Haven? I was shocked with the amount of people that are going to New Haven. We never even recognized these folks as potential travelers with our numbers. And New Haven, because they're a very established base up there for Avello, and Avello has a very loyal following up there.
Absolutely.
So you always connect a new base or a new destination with an established one. Well, we're starting to establish ourselves. Things are going to look really good here in the coming months. I'm excited for what we're going to do.
Well, and I know you and I have spoken about just my conversations with their chamber in New Haven, and one of the things that they are so proud to talk about is that they are creating a whole brand new employment base of Avello employees, because those routes do go from New Haven to Lakeland, and we can say the same thing even here in Lakeland. Do we know how many Avello employees we have here in Lakeland?
Right now, we're about 20-ish.
Okay.
A lot of which are part-time. But, once we get rolling down this road,
absolutely,
we'll be north of probably 125 full-time, high-skill, high-wage jobs. Now, the other thing I think that that we need to recognize here is, when the folks come in to Central Florida through Lakeland, our community and our business owners, small business owners, which, are the lifeblood of our economy, this is an opportunity for them to strengthen their business and to become that.
100%.
When we were in New Haven, what did everybody talk about? Pizza. And I'll tell you, it was really good pizza. Those folks up there, the small businesses, these are all very small businesses, and they are stepping up to the plate and making sure people know they're there. And I hope our community, and if I can do anything to help to any listener that wants to help, I'm here. I want to be part of the community. I want to be part of the success with you. By my side, partnerships.
Absolutely. And I think as we grow and we see more people come through the airport, and we gain more data on where they're coming from, where they're going will be better able to manage that too. And Visit Central Florida, again, to your point, is an incredible partner in that.
Incredible.
So we've got just a few minutes left. Let's brag on New Haven for just a minute, because you're right. We did get a lot of why New Haven, and thank you for answering that. The answer is that they're an established hub. I don't know how many routes they fly out of New Haven, but it
26.
feels like a million.
Wow.
And they just added 8 this summer. So Avelo is a great partner for so many reasons, not the least of which that they are a growing airline as well, and they've found their niche. They are sticking to it. But tell our listeners what you did when you flew into New Haven, because some of us did New Haven and some of us did lots of other things. So
All right, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
But before that, and Kris just made me think of something. One thing that makes it very easy as a commissioner is when the airport staff comes and tells us something that they're going to do that's already on the plan, that's already been paid for.
Yes.
FDOT, FAA. I mean, again, acronyms pulling out all over the place, and it's such a relief to know that. And again, we were talking earlier about them being an enterprise fund, but to have that happen as a commissioner, because budget's everything, right?
100%.
Everything that we have to spend, we have to raise one way or the other. So so I just appreciate you and your team. That's excellent.
It's nice to see on the agenda, accept a grant from.
Yeah,
it's
matching funds,
always,
it's grants, it's yes. And so just the staff there doing that is so great. So, okay, so New Haven, what I didn't know about New Haven, and here's how I would describe it. Honestly, it's a gateway. When you get there, you can go right to Boston, you can go left to New York. And my wife and I decided to go north. So we went there, we had pizza. We have some friends that are actually from there. We didn't know at the time we're from there, and they said, hey, go try Sally's. So we did. It took us 45 minutes in the wait line.
In the wait line, yes.
So that was something else. So we went toward Yale, and that was just beautiful history. We brought our passports with us and headed to Canada.
That's awesome.
We had rented a car when we got there, and we just drove north. We went up through northern New York, and we weren't really sure where we were going to go. We just in case. In fact, we were talking with some of the Avelo staff before, and he said, "Hey, I think I'll have to add Canada to our to our list of things you can do." But beautiful country, great people, and just so convenient. I think in Lakeland, what happens is for us to get out of the state takes us 4 hours, right? But the amount of places that you can see in 4 hours up there is phenomenal, because everything is so much more compact. So I'm very bullish on New Haven now. So yes, very happy.
I like it. How about you and your fam? What did y'all do?
So I'm going to talk really fast, because this is only 30 minutes and I could do this for hours. So getting into New Haven, I got to see some of the airport, talk with some of the airport folks, and do all that good networking stuff that it's all about. And got to meet with some of our community leaders, and while we were up there and had pizza at Modern Pizza, I'll have to argue. I think Modern is better than Sally's. Sally's is good, but
I'm a Pepe's person, so we're three different here.
Yes.
Good.
So we went out to the beach. We saw some lighthouses. It was beautiful. We went to Yale, went to the Peabody. It was outstanding. Cool. And then we jumped on the train and we went right into Grand Central Station in New York City. Me being a veteran and deployed many times since 9/11, I got to go to the 9/11 Memorial. It was on my bucket list. I've never been there. I want to see, this is where it began, right? And it was touching for myself to go do that, because it impacted my family's life quite a bit. So we did that, saw everything in New York, and got back on the train. 2-hour ride back. Went and had pizza, went back to the hotel, and life was good. I ate pizza for 3 days. I gained 3 pounds while I was over there. It was horrible.
It's a business trip. That's okay.
But it was fantastic. Well, and that we were able to go and hang out, and then later on we took a group of chamber leaders and learned about what they're doing as far as workforce development and talent pipeline. And so we also ate far too much pizza. We did wait in the Sally's line. We had Pepe's the first time when we were there. Yale is tremendous. We did not leave New Haven for 2 solid weekends that we were there, and still feel like there are things that we would want to do and go back. So my husband, I think, is already planning a trip for the fall. And if you are not subscribed to Avelo Airs emails, please join aveloair.com. Get on their newsletter list. They're constantly sending coupons and specials, little flash sales. So it really is incredibly affordable and super beneficial for our community. And you'll have a great time because there's so much to see and do there, just the same that there's so much to see and do here. So Commissioner Musick, Kris, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been an absolute blast for me. I love hanging out with you guys anyway. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. We are, of course, Listen Lakeland. We're a show that is put on by Lakeland Vision and the City of Lakeland. Please visit lakelandvision.org to participate in our survey about today. And we look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Listen Lakeland is brought to you as a collaborative project between Lakeland Vision, the City of Lakeland, and Hall Communications, a community working together to provide an exceptional quality of life. Thank you for being with us.